Mohammed Ayoub was shot in the head and died instantly. He was 15 years old. Panic spread following the shooting. RT spoke to the cameraman who filmed the incident. He says Mohammed wasn't threatening the soldiers and was unarmed.
He was participating in the march like everyone else. Lots of people were participating, and he was among them. He was not a threat to the Israeli army, and he was not acting in a manner that could have been considered threatening. He was a 15-year-old child. No matter what he was doing, he couldn't have been posing a threat to the soldiers, given the distance between him and the fence, as well as the fact that the soldiers were stood 100 to 200 meters back from the fence on the other side. When I filmed him, he wasn't carrying a stone or a slingshot or a knife. He was acting like everyone else at the march.
Well, we managed to speak to Mohammed's family as well. They say he was just exercising his rights at a peaceful demonstration and was far from the border fence.
Mohammed was 300 meters away from the fence, and even if he was right next to it, he was at a peaceful demonstration. He was just a child. Was he carrying a missile launcher? Was he shooting at the soldier who killed him? Why did they kill him? I'll tell you what Mohammed did wrong. Mohammed's fault was that he was demanding his rights.
He asked to go to the demonstration, and I said I didn't want him to, because the Israelis threaten and target people. Each Friday, threats from the Israelis increase. Then he asked to go and play outside, but he escaped and ran off to the demonstration. As soon as he got there, they targeted and killed him. It happened in less than an hour.
Mohammed knew that his uncle was going to the demonstration and said, "I want to go with you." He said no, as he was afraid that something might happen to the boy. I thought I'd convinced Mohammed to stay at home, but he left, asking his aunt to tell me and my wife he was just going to the fence for an hour. He was returned to us as a martyr.
The Israeli Defense Forces has reacted to the incident, posting a picture on Twitter showing Palestinians close to the border fence, claiming that Hamas is using youngsters for terror acts. Israel's defense minister also stood by the IDF's assertion, calling for people not to approach the border.
The only culprits in the death of the 15-year-old boy in Gaza are the leaders of Hamas. Those cowards hide behind women and children and use them as human shields so that they can continue to dig attack tunnels and carry out terrorist actions against the state of Israel. I say to the residents of Gaza, for a long life, do not approach the fence.
It is outrageous to shoot at children. How does the killing of a child in Gaza today help peace? This tragic incident must be investigated.
A full investigation is needed. The EU calls on the Israel Defense Forces to refrain from using lethal force against unarmed protesters.
Israel has launched an investigation into the case following worldwide criticism of the killing. The conflict on the border flared with the start of the so-called March of Return almost a month ago. Palestinians are demanding the return of territory they believe Israel has occupied. The demonstrations have left dozens of Palestinians dead and injured in the past 3 weeks.